the Lakers, Game 1 Tuesday. While Charles Barkley and Greg Anthony both picked the Blazers to win the series in an upset, a panel of anonymous NBA personnel picked the Lakers to win the series in 6. So, Shannon, who wins this series and in how many games?
I wasn't on that panel, but I got Lakers at 6. I got Lakers at 6, Skip.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not giving them because I believe they can get 2 games because of Dame. He single-handedly. He was averaging about 36 points a game in the 3 games this year, and they were 2-1, Skip. So we know Dame can go bonkers. CJ seems to be playing himself through that back. Well, they've given him some relief. I don't know if he's taking a shot, an injection, or whatever it is, Skip. But he's played well, especially CJ was doing some things. I'm like, wow. CJ is normally the master of the mid-range game, Skip. He got a nice mid-range game.
He does.
But CJ would put it on the floor between his legs, stepping back, letting threes go. I'm like, whoa, CJ, do it.
By the way, that transverse process injury, we've seen quarterbacks play through it and be okay.
Right.
So it's irritating, but I don't think it's debilitating.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So I know what those 2 guys are capable of doing. Skip, their offense is their defense because they've been putrid on the defensive side. They want the game to get into the 120s, the 130s, because they feel because of those 2 guys in the backcourt, they can match it down the stretch if that's what they need to do. And I've seen these guys make big shots down the stretch. Now, the Lakers' defense hasn't been good. Their offense hasn't been good. But I believe the best thing for their offense is possibly to play Portland's defense. Now, the question is, Skip, can they make open shots? Because Portland is really bad at three-point defense. They're bad at all kind of defense. The question is, can the Lakers make shots? Now, Anthony Davis, his one shot, his playoff win came in a sweep against this Portland team. He was 33-12. He's going to have to be just that good. LeBron James is going to have to be better than what he's been in the bubble overall. He's had flashes. He's had games where he had 30 points, had 12 rebounds, but he hadn't had the assist total because the guys weren't making shots. So I'm gonna give the Blazers 2 games because I believe they're good enough to get 2 games. Nurkic is a monster. They could also guys get in foul trouble a lot. Now, if both of those guys get in foul trouble, it's a different. They don't have anybody to challenge. It's going to be a highway to the rim. Zach Collins is a big, but Zach wants to play on the perimeter and shoot threes. He's not trying to mix it up down in the paint. So that's the thing, and you're going to have to take the ball out of Dame's hand. If CJ goes for 45, if Melo can make 30, if Gary Trent Jr. can get 20, you can live with that. But you know CJ can go get you 60. You know that.
He can.
You're going to have to find someone that can make him work. I'm not going to be surprised if Dion Waiters is not playing 25 to 30 minutes because he's the only guy really that doesn't need, he can go one-on-one. They're not going to put him on Dame. They're not going to put him on Kuz. But they might have to put him on Dion Waiters. And Dion can go one-on-one and make him work. You're going to have to make him work on the defensive end. You can't let him coast because if you let him coast, he's going to have an abundance of energy to light you up on the offensive end.
I hear everything you just said, but I am predicting a sweep. And it's not by Portland, it's of Portland. It's a Lakers sweep. 1, 2, 3, 4, over and out for the Blazers.
I know what you're trying to do.
They have blazed a trail into the playoffs, and they're about to blaze one right back out of the playoffs in 4 nights or days or whenever they may. I think they'll be playing at night most of the time.
Tuesday, they go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
I don't trust 2 huge things about the Trailblazers.
What?
And I've watched them carefully. And the more I've watched them, the less I have liked them as a team. They were easily the worst defensive team in the bubble. It's not even close statistically. They're rock bottom, dead last. And against the Lakers, I know the Lakers have struggled to get back in rhythm offensively, but the firepower is definitely there. The potential is there. You know it and I know it. In the last couple of games, we started to see them click and make some shots. And obviously, Dion Waiters can come in and take it up a notch, and JR can come in on any given night and light you up. So the firepower is there for the Lakers just to have their way offensively. Now we're back to the guy, the superstar, the MVP of the bubble, Damian Lillard. Obviously, I've had my differences with him, and if you want to say I'm nitpicking him, fire away. But I'm going to back it up with facts. He hasn't shown me, especially over the last 2 playoff years, that he could be trusted in the postseason under the brightest lights. Because
he won 2 rounds last year, Skip.
Okay. Well, can I finish? What I've seen the last 2 times in the playoffs. Let's look at the biggest picture. Since he has entered the league, I told you this last week, he has the worst winning percentage of any single player in the NBA. That's not all his fault, but if we're talking superstar, he has a lot to do with that or not to do with it. And he also has the second worst plus-minus in the playoffs of any player in the NBA since entering the league. Those are two scary stats when it comes to Damian Lillard. Okay. So let's go back 2 years ago to the first round. What happened? You mentioned it. It was a 3 seed in Portland versus a 6 seed in New Orleans. And what happened in that series?
They got swept.
Damian got swept. And what happened? Let's look at the overall of that. Let's see what he averaged for that series. He averaged 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's exactly half of what he averaged in the bubble.
Correct.
Weird things were happening in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
We had T.J. Warren. We had people come out of nowhere and shock you with huge scoring salvos, right? Michael Porter Jr. But that, I think he could last.
Right.
But we'd see Austin Rivers go for, what was it, 41, right? And it just happened where it was just weird because it was a new dynamic, no crowd, sort of dark in there, kind of weird. We're not sure where the out of bounds are because we can't feel the crowd behind us. Weird things were happening. And I'm not saying that Damian wasn't certainly capable of going for 38 because he averaged 38, but he averaged only 19, 5, and 5. He was 38 and 10 in the bubble games.
Correct.
Okay, so what happened in game number 1? This was the game. It's at Portland. This is going to set the tone for the series. Well, it comes down to 15 seconds left. What happened, and by the way, Damian was in the process of going 6 for 23 in that game. With 15 seconds left, he missed a jumper to put them up 1. And I think we have this shot, if we could see it. Here it is. At the end of the game, this is the play he pulls off. He drives on Drew Holiday, and he has him. He has a step. And all of a sudden, he just decides to fall straight left, sideways, trying to draw a cheap foul when he had him. He had him dead to rights. And Anthony was kind of preoccupied. I think he could have gone hard to the rim and maybe gotten to the free throw line the straight up way. But he goes in and he falls left and he airballs it. And that's the end of the game. That's all you could do. And the ref just scoffed at him, laughed at him. I'm not going to give you that call.
Right.
Okay, so that set the tone because obviously at Portland, New Orleans survived the first game. And here we go. Game 2, Damian goes 1 for 7 from 3. Is that good? Probably not. Game 3, he has a long night again. He was 3 for 9 from 3. He was a minus 24 in game 3, which was the worst plus-minus of any player on either team. And then in game 4, he goes 1 for 5 from 3, and they lost those 2 games at New Orleans pretty convincingly. So that's a playoff series by a superstar.
Are you judging him then by today's standard? Because I would just say over the last couple of years, I would look at Dame as a superstar.
Okay, that was his 6th year in the league, so he's not first time around the block.
No.
Okay?
But I don't think anybody thought Dame was a superstar. Skip, when you come into the league, yes, I mean, he was a lottery pick. But no, like I said, 6-foot guards, and we said, okay, they're going to lead a team.
He's listed at 6'2" for what it's worth. Okay.
So 6'1", 6'2", or below guards.
Yep.
We're not looking at those guys to take team to the promised land.
Okay.
Step is an anomaly. Okay. Isaiah Thomas were anomalies. But we don't normally see that, especially with not a big to go beside it.
Okay. So then you said he won a couple of rounds last year, which he did, and he played very well against Russell Westbrook, just outplayed him and waved him goodbye and on his home floor. Okay. Then he runs into Golden State with no Kevin Durant. All 4 games are close going to the fourth quarter. And in the fourth quarter, Damian Lillard shoots 31% from the field and 29% from the three-point line. 8 of 26 and 5 of 17. He's a minus 30 for those fourth quarters.
Okay.
Now, to keep this in perspective, CJ was even worse. And that's what killed them. But CJ was 4 of 20 from the field and 1 of 10 from the three-point line in 4 fourth quarters and an overtime. But in the overtime, it came at the end of the 4th game. In the 4th quarter, Damian was 1 of 3, 0 for 1 from 3. But at the end of the game, thanks to CJ, who got a hot hand and made a couple of shots, Damian drove first on Draymond and got it blocked out of bounds, and they got the ball back. So they get one last shot at the end of the game. This is 1.3 seconds left, and here we go. He gets a shot. There Wait a second. That's the first play. That's the first play. Okay, this is the first play. It's blocked by Draymond from behind. Okay, now the ball's out of bounds. They get it back. Here we go again. And inbounds to Dame. And it's a hard shot. It's like a LeBron shot. I've seen LeBron make some of those. Yeah. And he was
I just saw him in the bubble make that very shot.
He did. He made that shot.
Very shot in both corners.
Okay, so again, they get swept by Golden State without Kevin Durant. And I keep saying, show me something. Just show me one game where you just flat out take it over and finish it and close that deal. I just don't know. The pressure is all, to me, on Portland right now because people are picking Portland.
No, Charles Barkley, you can pick them all you want to.
Okay, but Charles Barkley picked them, and Greg Anthony picked them. Yeah. And I read a quote in ESPN last night that one of the spokesmen, the head odds maker at Westgate, said people are enthralled by Portland in this series. They're just picking. They're betting on Portland like crazy.
Because here's the thing, Skip. These guys are picking Portland like you played a lottery. All you have to do is be right as once. See, Skip, if I played a lottery enough time, I just need to be. Every time they have a lottery, which they have it like 6 times a week now. I just need to be right once. I can be wrong 5 times. If I'm right, I win. So Charles Barkley can get all the rest of the picks, but if he just wins this one, see, I told you. But he goes 1 for 10 the rest of the playoffs, and they logged him. Same thing with Greg Anthony. That's not the way I look at it.
Okay.
They're still an 8 seed, Skip. Even though people are picking them, they are an 8 seed. This would be a monumental upset because we've only seen it, twice? Because I think when the Nuggets did it, it was the best of 5. And I think the Warriors did it to the